Okay, so look at this one. This is a 3-level, we want to talk about 3-level design. So we talked about the 2 levels so far. The expansion to 3 levels allows us to include squared terms in the model. Like, for example, we would have 2 factors, 3 levels is going to be, the number of runs is going to be 3 power 2. And then we have the 3 levels is that I have, like, for example, -1, +1, and I'm going to have 0 in between. And these are the coded values. And when you're writing down, it's going to be like, for example, beta 0 plus beta 1 x1, beta 2 x2, beta 1 2 x1 x2, beta 1 1 x1 power 2, beta 2 2 x2 power 2. So this is like the second order model, right? You will see that it's going to help us here to find out, okay, so instead of having 2 levels, if we have 3 levels, what's going to happen for our response surface. So here's an industrial problem. We want to predict the rate of water vapor transmission of a plastic foam. The objective is to minimize the vapor transmission rate. And the independent variable that we would have are foam thickness and foam density. So for foam thickness, we have these 3 levels, 1, 1.5, and 2 inches. And for foam density, we have 2, 2.25, 2.5 pound per cubic feet. Our response, or Y, is equal, it's the transmission rate in grams per day. So let's look at here. So I have this is very similar to the table that we had. So we have our thickness, we have our density, 1, 1.52, and then we have the, like these are the levels. Like we have 2 factors and 3 levels. The fitted model, we learned that in the previous chapters how to calculate these betas. So we would say that, okay, so we have the fitted model. And then when we have the fitted model, you can see that we have the square. What's going to happen is that we would have the response surface, like we would draw the response surface, and here is the counter plot. So when you're looking at the counter plot, each of these curves that you see, as I said, is going to represent one of the response. You just need to like match it, like say, for example, this is 0.030. So you are going to try to find this curve, and then you will find out the thickness and density of it. Like you would see how they change. So this is the response. In this table, we have the number of runs for 3 power k factorial design. Here is the number of the variables that we have. Here is the number of the runs, and here is the number of the model terms that we would have. So it requires running for more experiments than are really needed to estimate the quadratic model, because we have like that x power 2, right? For more than 3 factors, the number of runs in the full factorial, we don't want to go there. Let's say it's better. Central composite design is going to help us here as well. So the same central composite design that we had before. So central composite design can be used to reduce the number of the required trials if you have more than 3 factors. So it gives equivalent result to 3-level full factorials. And we know what is the central one, right? So this is just a review right now for us, because we have the, here, look at here. So we have the square, like low level, high level, both are high level. So we have 2 factors. We are going to add the, as I said, we have the axial runs, or we would call them star ones. And we add them, it's going to be like the positive, like it's axial ones that we have, right? And then we combine them, and we would have with the center points. So we call it central composite design for 2 variables. And you can see that we have like one thing that is written here is alpha, which is new, and we need to find how to calculate it. Okay, this for 3 variables. For 3 variables, we're going to have cube, right? So we had it. So we had something like this before. We said that, let's say each of these corners, it's going to be our like factorial runs. And we add the star or axial runs. We had this example like in few slides before, right? Maybe 10 slides ago. And then we just add them together, like combine them. It's going to be cube plus star plus center points. So it's going to give me, we call it central composite design. For the central composite design, we say that it can be either rotatable or orthogonal, or both of them. The type of the design determines the star points level. So a star points level is alpha, as we saw in the previous slide. We call it the star point level, and we have a table for it, and also equations that we're I'm gonna show you quickly. The orthogonal central composite designs, they don't have any correlation among the main effects being estimated, and therefore, because there is no between the main effects, so there wouldn't be correlation between the parameters. They are used to determine significant curvature effects in addition to the effect estimated from the base design, like the factorial design part. Rotatable ones are very interesting. It's like you can trust them a lot, in my opinion, because the variance doesn't change when you rotate them. So rotatable central composite designs yield models which give equal prediction of error, let's say R units, from the center in every direction that you go. And because it gives you same, like equal prediction errors like that, it's going to give you the same variance. If the goal is to understand cause and effect only, we would go with the orthogonal, like orthogonal central composite design. If the goal is includes a prediction, then we would go with the rotatable CCDs. So it depends that which way you want to go, that you would use any of them. Like you would choose which one to go with.